What's up, Hockey Talk Show fans? It's your old pal, and I'm here in my real radio job studio. See, WEHM, that's our station, WEHM.com if you want some good music. But we're here to talk about NHL Draft Day 2018 trade rumors. Have to pop on this quick episode for you because the trade rumors are running rampant. Now, keep in mind, if you're on the podcast or YouTube or Facebook right now, we're going to be doing a live show, watching the draft, commenting along together right here on the Hockey Talk Show Facebook and YouTube live channels. So follow, subscribe, hit the bell, hit the notification, do whatever you got to. You know the deal by now. Do it all. Make sure you get notified because something breaks today. We'll go live on the channels here. We'll upload videos, whatever we have to do. It might be all quiet. I might only see you guys tonight for the NHL Draft. But the trade rumors are just like they're insane, thus warranting a little bit of a bonus episode here. Let's talk about Erik Karlsson. He's going to be the big cog in this moving piece. Also, John Tavares and what's going to happen with him. He seems to be the centerpiece around all of these things, including Karlsson, who Bob McKenzie is saying is going to be dealt. Now, I agree with Bob. I think he's going to be dealt. I think he gets dealt today at some point, if not by draft time. Because when you think about it, if you're going to pull off a major deal for an Erik Karlsson, having draft picks is going to be a piece of that. Vegas, if that's where he's going, has a bunch of draft picks. Even though they gave up a ton in the deal with Detroit, they're going to want to include some draft picks in this. And that's why it always makes sense to make some of these deals before draft day. Because once you draft a prospect, that it's kind of over. You can't really utilize that piece of a draft pick. Team wants to pick, not the prospect in these situations, so that they can pick their own prospects who they want. Totally makes sense. So Karlsson, I think, will be dealt. It makes sense to do it today. He believes that Ottawa has the deal that they are comfortable with, but they haven't pulled the trigger on it, meaning they're probably trying to leverage a deal with Vegas or God knows who else is throwing their hat in the mix, which I'm sure it's a ton of people, to see if they can really get the most. It's literally like squeezing a lemon at this point. Great if they have a deal that they're comfortable with, but they're going to try and squeeze a little bit more to see what they can get before making a final move. So I'm with Bob McKenzie. I think Karlsson gets moved. Now, why is this significant? What does this have to do with Tavares? They're really related because if it is Vegas that does wind up pulling a deal for Erik Karlsson like we thought they were going to do at the trade deadline, do they then have enough money to go out and get John Tavares? And that's going to be the question for a bunch of teams. Don't forget, Karlsson is a restricted free agent, 43-goal season. William Karlsson, they got to get him under contract. Now, they don't have to do it July 1st, but they can do it as early as July 1st. So that is going to be an option that they're going to have to deal with moving forward. And if you're going to be handing out 7-8-year deals, you're going to have to keep it in mind if you're going out to sign a John Tavares, which I believe Vegas will explore, even if they do get Karlsson. They do have a ton of cap space. But again, when you start adding all those pieces together of Karlsson, Tavares, and other Karlsson, their own William and Erik, who they might be acquiring, that's when that now you're starting to put a lot of money on the books. Plus, all the other guys are going to have to wind up signing 3-4 years in to some of those contracts that are going to get extended and offered. These are the things that George McPhee is going to have to think about. So you may be able to fit Erik Karlsson, William Karlsson, and John Tavares under your cap this year, but then where are you going to be 2 or 3 years down the road when you're still paying those guys who are all going to be John is going to get at least $10 million, 11 from other teams. Erik is a $9 or $10 million player in his own right as a puck-moving defenseman. He's one of the best in the league. And then William Karlsson, again, just put 43 in the net for you. I don't know if they're going to try and get away with a bridge deal there or whatever they're going to do. But I'm sure he's going to want to cash in at least $5 or $6 million. I mean, at least, if you believe in the heaviest argument of he only scored 43 ones, it could have been a lucky year. Even if you wholeheartedly believe that he's garbage and he'll never get back to this, you would at least relent $5 or $6 million to him. So that's the Erik Karlsson situation for today. Frank Saravelli believes that the Senators are getting plenty of calls on Karlsson. He believes the Vegas Golden Knights remain at the center of the Karlsson watch, as we all know that they tried to grab him at the deadline. But as a case in point, part of what Frank Saravelli is saying, and it's what we said, one of the keys for Vegas getting Karlsson was they were going to take the Bobby Ryan contract, and that's another boatload of money, $7 million, I think it is. I don't have it in front of me. That they're going to have to try and fit in and figure out. Even if they do wind up buying him out, it's still a chunk of change. So salary cap issues are going to be first and foremost, which is interesting for the Vegas Golden Knights, a team that has so much salary cap space, especially for a team that just went to the Stanley Cup Finals. So we'll keep that in mind when we think about the Vegas Golden Knights. The other part about this, the big rumors today, Artemi Panarin has told the Columbus Blue Jackets that he does not want to talk contract extension right now. He can be tendered an offer on July 1st. He has told the team, according to several reports, one to George Richards, the other to Aaron Portzline, who's a phenomenal writer for the Columbus Blue Jackets and covers a bit of the league as well in general, that he wants to wait until the fall to talk contract. Stamkos, Tavares, and now Panarin. We're starting to see this trend gather where, in the first couple of the years of this, hey, you can sign an extension starting July 1st of the last year you're under contract, and everybody was running to do that. Now it's, no, I'm going to wait and see how this last year plays out. Let's see how the team performs. Let's see what you're going to be able to offer me. There's no rush in signing an extension. Super interesting way to go about things. It's definitely Stamkos went to the end and decided to stay. Tavares, it looks like it's going to go to the end. We still don't know what he's going to do. And now Panarin looks like he's going to at least wait until the fall, not July 1, to see how his team shapes up here. And that is going to lead to nothing but trade speculation. What we know right now is that Jarmo Kekalainen is going to take some phone calls. As he should. This is what a general manager does. This doesn't mean that he wants to trade Panarin. I'm certain he wants to sign him. But now that you start to get a wild card in your roster, you're going to start to pick up the phone and take some calls and say, hey, if I do have to move him, what are we going to be looking at here? Speaking of rumors that I think are pretty much unfounded, comes Phil Kessel. Let's talk about Phil. There's been trade rumors about him leaving Pittsburgh, and I can't understand it. He's got such a good thing. It's a three-headed monster there with Crosby, Kessel, and Malkin. Why you would want to leave that, I have no idea. But if he does have issues, we know that Kessel and Malkin, who are very well a wonderful combination together on the ice, have had some issues and arguments and things that we've seen publicly, them screaming at each other after shifts. If that's the case and it's boiling over and he wants to go, then he wants to go. So then the rumor's not really all that unfounded. But I just think that winning is everything to these guys, and Kessel's best chance of winning is staying with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Today's rumor from Josh Yeo is that he wants to go to the Arizona Coyotes. This is groundbreaking for several reasons. A, most importantly, nobody wants to go to the Phoenix Coyotes. I can't believe they're going to get Oliver Ekman-Larsson back under contract. That's amazing to me that they were able to pull that off. But good for them. Look, Ronta. Now you've got, Oliver Ekman-Larsson committing to that team. You just got Galchenyuk, and you're hoping against hope he can turn his demons around and become the 30-goal scorer that his skills definitely lend themselves to be. So you got a couple things cooking there if you're Arizona. It's a good time to be excited if you're Arizona. And now if you add Phil Kessel, now the West is going to change a little bit. That's certainly interesting. So what originally began as an unfounded rumor for me, now that it's really being reported by somebody of some significance here, Josh Yeo, good for them. I mean, let's see what happens there. Rick Tocchet is there now. He was very close with Phil when he was in Pittsburgh. That apparently seems to be the link. But from what I understand, the Coyotes have a little bit of an issue with Kessel's contract. He's averaging out at $6.8 million. We know they have cap issues over there. They're going to put a lot of money into Oliver Ekman-Larsson's pocket. Can they make that work? Will Pittsburgh be able to keep some salary? I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that Pittsburgh is going to look to make a move for Phil Kessel and keep some salary. I just don't know if that would be of interest or not for them. Let's see. Yo also reported that the Penguins had interest in winger Max Domi before the Coyotes dealt for him last Friday to the Montreal Canadiens. It's believed they offered up Brian Rust, Connor Sheary, or Dominic Simon. We'll see what happens there. Let's see here. Jason McKay believes that signs are there for the Penguins GM Jim Rutherford to swing a trade, noting that it's around this time of year when he's made some of his most notable moves. He feels Matt Hunwick, Connor Sheary, and Carl Hagelin are the most likely to be dealt. Kessel and Brassard remains options, but not likely ones. So there's McKay talking about the fact that it's not all that likely that Kessel gets moved. Hagelin is an interesting one to me because I feel like there's a guy who, much like Michael Grabner, should be a 30, 40 goal scorer every single year, but he's just not. But he's still the kind of player that I want on my team because the speed is unbelievable. Great penalty killing. He can put the puck in the net, and he doesn't make that much money. You know, when you're not paying Carl Hagelin $6 million, which he should be getting as a 30-goal scorer, it works. It works. I think Carl Hagelin is one of the more desirable players to have. Unfounded rumor number 2, seeing that we kind of like, hey, maybe rumor number 1 unfounded is might be founded. This desire to trade Wayne Simmons, there's something here that we don't know because there's no reason to trade Wayne Simmons. I don't think it improves the Philadelphia Flyers whatsoever. I know he just had surgery to repair a tear in his pelvis. That's going to be a question. He has a 12-team no-trade list. There's a lot of things going against this. Most notably, he's awesome and works really well with the Flyers, and why would they want to trade him? So I don't know if this is locker room or personal issues or what, but there's something that is fueling these trade rumors with Wayne Simmons, and I don't know what they are because common sense isn't one of them. Common sense is not fueling this whatsoever because it doesn't make sense. Makes little to no sense. But it keeps getting floated out there, so we'll wait and see what happens. I know that when they asked him a little while ago, Hextall was like, no, I want to start having some contract talks with him. So I just don't see that as being something based in reality. So let's put that one aside for now, but not all that much aside because it keeps being brought up. San Jose Sharks are definitely going to be talked about a whole bunch. They are in the John Tavares mix. Grabbing Hoffman and then flipping them, opening up some cap space. That was the key for the San Jose Sharks in the Senators-Panthers Mike Hoffman deal. This is what's interesting to me, and this is the strategy of San Jose is going to be the strategy of a lot of teams. Tavares, Kovalchuk, Van Riemsdyk. There's your if you want to bolster your offense, those are your top 3 options right now. Tavares, Kovalchuk, Van Riemsdyk. And Kovalchuk, I would honestly put Van Riemsdyk above Kovalchuk because I've seen him play in the NHL the last couple of years, and that's more than we can say about Ilya. But however you want to put 2 or 3, that's the way it is. And the appealing thing about Kovalchuk is great goal scoring. I don't have to give up anything for him. It looks like Van Riemsdyk is going to be the same thing, but I would imagine that Van Riemsdyk is going to be a bit more picky on where he wants to go. And Tavares, the same thing. I mean, you're not going to have to really give anything up if you sign him. But there are some trade options out there, but these 3 are suitable for any team that wants to just sort of pull somebody in. I think the league has a feeling that John is just going to be listening to offers. I think every team is going to do their best to throw a lot at him, but I think that with Lou and Barry and God knows what Lou is going to do tonight at the draft, I think everybody has that feeling now that John is going to stay. That's the feeling I have. Of course, this is all guessing. Nobody really knows. We did see a bunch of stuff from Drager or Pierre LeBrun or one of the great insiders who said that Tavares has shifted his focus. They're talking daily. He now wants to sign. He's shifted his focus to trying to get a deal done in Jersey. I mean, obviously, I think, he's always said it. He's always said that he wants to stay. But that doesn't mean that teams aren't going to load up and give it an honest day's try. And I think San Jose is going to be one of those teams. And that's the exact order that they're going to go in. They're going to try for Tavares. If he's not there, they're going to go for Ilya Kovalchuk. If he's not there, they're going to go for Van Riemsdyk. But what's interesting is the one little thing of where maybe Kovalchuk is up a little higher is Kovalchuk can sign today. That's the difference. You want Tavares or Van Riemsdyk, you got to wait till July 1. Draft is tonight. If you want to try and figure out where you are, should I stick around and get snuffed by Tavares? Do I have a chance to get Van Riemsdyk? I know I can get Kovalchuk today. Let me put it out there and see if I can get him to sign on the dotted line. That's the interesting part about all of this. So let's see where Kovalchuk goes, and does he sign before the draft, and what kind of effect does that have? Because if San Jose feels like, look, I'm not going to get Tavares, and should we even roll the dice on Van Riemsdyk? Ilya's biting. We could sign him today. We don't have to worry about it. Let's do that now. That's probably what San Jose is thinking. It's probably what a lot of teams are thinking. So San Jose, Vegas, Karlsson, Tavares seems to be in this little cog in this wheel of, everybody's kind of waiting to see, what can I do now? What can I trade for now? What assets do I need to get so-and-so? I can sign Kovalchuk now, so on and so forth. We should also point out that Kovalchuk's been tied to everybody. I mean, it seems like everybody thinks there's a feeling out there that Los Angeles is going to have a good shot at getting him. We'll wait and see. People were talking about the Islanders getting him because of the Lou tie-in. That I don't know. I do think that there have been a whole bunch of trade rumors attached to the Islanders within the last 2 days that are super interesting, which is Van Riemsdyk, which I don't really see happening, but there is the Lou connection there. Matt Martin, which I think is a strong possibility that he rejoins the Islanders because Lou got him for Toronto, and then he wound up not being able to play because of the coach's preference. But the recent one was Karlsson following Barry Trotz along. Now, we know the Islanders have a big need on defense. Karlsson is one of the best in the league. Can they make that work? I think that's really interesting. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think if Karlsson wants to stay with the Caps, he's going to stay. But if he's going to go anywhere else, I have to think right now at the top of his list has to be the Islanders. You have familiarity with your coach. If they keep Tavares, they keep Tavares. The goaltending is going to be a question, but again, they're going to be on the top of the list, which is a change for the Islanders. You talk about culture change and all this and that stuff. That's a change for this. You're starting to see Lou, which led to Trotz, which Lou and Trotz now are going to lead to God knows what. Could be John Karlsson because of what culture has been instilled with that organization. Again, I'm not saying Karlsson's going to the Islanders. What I'm saying is if he decides not to stay, and I think it would be insane for anybody not to stay with the Stanley Cup champion team, especially one that drafted them, if he decides not to stay. When he goes out there and he starts to look at 2 or 3 teams or 4 teams or 5 teams that he can go to, the Islanders are going to be on top of that list or one of the top couple teams because of Barry Trotz being over there. Mike Harrington of the Buffalo News is reporting that Jason Botterill isn't surprised by the interest of other clubs in Ryan O'Reilly, noting the center is among the team's better players, while Botterill is getting plenty of calls. Harrington said he is not shopping O'Reilly or any other player. Oilers have not yet reached out to Cam Talbot on a contract extension, leading to all sorts of speculation with him. And this is a small one, but the Canucks are believed to be targeting Jay Beagle before he or as he hits free agency on July 1st to bolster up the depth of their bottom 6. So there are a lot of trade rumors out there right now, a lot of signing rumors. There's a lot of talk. And talk is normal for this time, but honest to goodness, I just feel like we're heading into this NHL draft with more a sense of God knows what can happen. Like we were blindsided in the past by the Corey Schneider deal or, stuff like that you heard a little buzz day of, and then all of a sudden happened. You're like, holy cow, I can't believe that went down. But today it literally feels like anything can happen. I mean, really, really anything can happen. Again, you can have Erik Karlsson on the move this afternoon, and that would be a massive deal. I don't see a sign and trade for Tavares happening. Lou's not going to go down that route. Caps, are they going to up Todd to head coach? That can happen today. There's a lot. There's a lot of stuff. So we're going to be watching the draft. Keep your eyes on the Facebook page for the Hockey Talk Show, at Hockey Talk Show on Facebook. We'll have any moves that are made that we're not going to do a video on. We'll have that up there, and we'll have some discussion up there as well. But special draft show tonight from the home studio, or we might do it living room style. I'm not exactly sure. But either way, it's going to be exciting and a lot of fun watching the draft with you guys. So I'll see you later on this afternoon. Again, hockeytalkshow.com for all the details and information on what we're doing right here on the Hockey Talk Show.